Am I the a-hole if I, female 25, refuse to lend my engagement ring to my sister-in-law, female 20? I recently got engaged. Yay! The proposal was really intimate and sweet. I have always been very picky about rings. They're my absolute favorite type of jewelry. So obviously, I was sure on what kind of engagement ring I wanted even before I had a boyfriend. My fiancé proposed with the exact ring that I wanted, and I was so happy he respected my wishes. This is going to be important later. My sister-in-law, female 20, is my fiancé, male 26, younger sister. She is generally used to getting whatever she wants. She swung by our house a couple days later to congratulate us, and obviously demanded to see the ring. No biggie. I showed it to her, and then she wanted to wear it on her finger. I budged on that too. Big mistake. She took a few pictures with my ring on her finger, then gave it back. This was last week. Yesterday, she called me up saying she's going to this really fancy party this Sunday and wants to wear my ring since it doesn't really look like an engagement ring. I politely declined. She asked me a few times, and when I refused, she started shouting and calling me a witch for not sharing a piece of jewelry that her brother paid for. She told her mom too, and my mother-in-law texted me asking why I'm not giving her my ring. So, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. It's your engagement ring, not a communal bicycle. Your fiancé bought the ring for you, not for his family. I'd keep a closer eye on the ring for the next few days if I were you. I'd also have a quick chat with your fiancé about the dumb BS his sister and mom are pulling. Yes, and get it insured if it's pricey. So when you announce your pregnancy, is she gonna ask to borrow her brother's genitals too? Will your mother-in-law insist? Just no. As she said, her brother paid for it, not her. And like the first comment said, bring your hubs into it. You need to present a united no. Not the a-hole. Firstly, it's your ring, and you are not obligated to lend it to anyone. Not wanting to is enough of a reason by itself. But this is your engagement ring. They are meaningful and sentimental, regardless of whether they look like a traditional engagement ring. It's not normal to ask to borrow someone else's engagement or wedding ring at all, and it's weird that she doesn't get that. She's being an entitled brat. I find it even weirder since it's the ring from her brother to OP. It's not a friend asking to borrow another friend's ring, which would be slightly less odd in my opinion. I would not want to wear a ring that my brother gave to his fiancée as a symbol of his love. Not the a-hole. It's not just any piece of jewelry. It is your engagement ring. I am wondering if sister-in-law told mother-in-law it was just a ring that she was trying to borrow, or if she told her that it was your engagement ring. If mother-in-law would be okay with that, let her give sister-in-law her engagement ring rather than borrowing yours. Next story. Am I the a-hole for insisting to invite someone to the wedding when my fiancé is against it? I'm 26 male and my fiancé, who I'm getting married to in a few months, is also 26 female. I started dating my fiancé 4 years ago and we got engaged last year. Before I met my fiancé, I was friends with one girl since we were 16 years old. We weren't that close, but we were good friends. I had no contact with that girl after she had cursed out my fiancé multiple times, and when she was acting jealous over the fact that I have a relationship and I'm going on dates with my partner. She was getting really exhausting, and I felt suffocated by her. After she spoke some very horrible words to my fiancé, I cut her off. That was almost 2.5 to 3 years ago. Now this girl started dating my cousin 3 months ago. My cousin will be invited to the wedding, and although I'm not that thrilled about it, that girl will be his +1. My fiancé is totally against it because that girl has treated her horribly, and she doesn't want her at the wedding because she believes she's the kind of person to make the wedding about herself. She's not totally wrong. That girl is extremely weird and is capable of pulling a stunt to get all eyes on her, whether it's negative attention or positive attention. I get why my fiancé is worried, but I don't want to tell my cousin to not bring his +1, who's his girlfriend. My fiancé seems to try to accept it, but I can't help but feel like the a-hole for insisting to invite that girl when my fiancé has valid concerns to not want her there. You're the a-hole. Your fiancé was treated bad by this person. If it was the other way around, wouldn't you be against it? I'm easier with compromises than my fiancé is, and I can manage being in the presence of people I don't get along with. My fiancé, on the other hand, cannot do that because her personality is different. You are saying she cannot do that. Why would you still invite that person if you know this? In order to avoid family drama. If we exclude my cousin's girlfriend, my cousin will be pissed. and then a bunch of relatives will try to intervene and cause drama. Sorry to be blunt, but you need to grow a spine and stand up to your family. Cousin's girlfriend has a history of disrespecting my fiancé and our relationship, and I won't accept that at our wedding, is all you need to say. And if they keep giving you grief, just keep telling them you won't have someone who has disrespected your relationship at your wedding. You're the a-hole. If this woman sounds like she will be causing serious drama, I don't think it's a coincidence she started dating your cousin 3 months before your wedding. Tell your cousin she is not invited. No one who disrespects the bride like that, whether today or 5 years ago, should be allowed to attend. Why does your cousin's comfort matter more than your fiancé's at her own wedding? You're the a-hole. I keep waiting to see a legitimate explanation for this. A cousin can't bring a girlfriend of 3 months, versus the bride has to deal with the stress of knowing a person who harassed and insulted her that they had to cut out of their lives is coming and can cause drama at her wedding. How on earth is this even a debate? Your fiancé has to feel like your lowest possible priority right now. You're the a-hole. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for turning down the best man role and disrespecting the couple's wishes? I will provide some context before getting to the actual story. I come from a country where bridal parties like groomsmen and bridesmaids are not a thing. Some younger couples do wedding parties because it's a trend in the West, but it's definitely not something usual in our culture. Best men and maids of honor don't have the same role that they do in American weddings. They have the role of spiritual supporters in terms of religion. Now, it's usually just our version of best man and maid of honor in the wedding party, and if either of them is married, engaged, or in a long-term relationship, their significant other is expected to sit at the head table along with the bride and groom. It's unheard of here to pair maid of honor with best man and bridesmaids with groomsmen. Everyone is with their significant other or their chosen plus one. Now, my best friend is getting married to his future wife. His wife has never liked my fiancé since the very beginning. The reason was that his wife wanted to set me up with her cousin, and I rejected her cousin by getting with my fiancé and ruined her plans. Throughout my 7-year relationship with my fiancé, my friend's wife was doing sketchy things at the beginning to get us to break up, and later she'd just be extremely shady. I put an end to this behavior by speaking to my best friend about his partner's behavior, and how she has no right to treat my fiancé like that. Now on the wedding. The bride decided she wants an actual wedding party full of groomsmen and bridesmaids. She was a very traditional person who always judged that new Western trend, so it came to our surprise how she chose to do that. Later it became clear, when she announced the wedding party will be paired with each other, and their significant others will not be their significant others for the day, and will have to play pretend with the other wedding party members. So as best man, she wanted to pair me with a maid of honor, who was none other than the cousin she wanted to set me up with. I was expected to walk with maid of honor, dance intimately with maid of honor, sit with maid of honor during dinner, while my significant other would be seated with some random guests she didn't know. Seeing through the bride's intentions, I said that they either changed the plan or I'm stepping down because I know what she's trying to do. She always hated that bridesmaid trend, and she always frowned upon it, but suddenly she wants to adopt every single part of American wedding culture out of spite for me and my fiancé's relationship? My best friend said to either take it or leave it. And then bride pulled the "it's my wedding" excuse and said that even if she wanted us to fake kiss with maid of honor, we should be expected to do it out of respect for her wedding day. I said I'm stepping down from the best man role if it means my relationship to my fiancé is disrespected like that. Our friends understand my reasoning for stepping down, but still claim I'm the a-hole because I'm obligated to respect the couple's wishes no matter what. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Also, the bride is getting the Western tradition wrong. You don't pretend to be in a relationship with a maid of honor as the best man, and you certainly don't fake kiss. Frankly, even in the States, I would turn down this request, because it's completely wacky and usually disrespectful to the fact I'm in a relationship. No one should ask you to act like you're not for a night. I always found this tradition tacky because I find it disrespectful to have someone's significant other separate from them in such an event. But that's just because I grew up differently in another culture and it's not the norm here. She has the Western tradition completely wrong. The only time the best man and maid of honor are paired up is for the walk back down the aisle after the ceremony. They're not treated like a couple during the rest of the celebration. Not stay home. Her demand is bizarre. She says she's seen bridesmaids and groomsmen paired for the dance too, and that they have a separate wedding party table where actual significant others aren't allowed. I've seen similar stuff too, to be honest, all over social media, so she's not entirely making it up. It's just that she frowned upon said trend until she saw how she could use it to her benefit to pair me with her maid of honor. Not today, home. I'm so glad you're standing up for your fiancé. When people ask you, don't even make it about the bride. Simply say you are not comfortable performing the requested tasks, especially the things that require you are somewhat intimate with someone other than your fiancé. At first, that's what I said to my friends before telling them the actual reason, since some of them weren't aware of how my friend's wife treated my fiancé and why. At first, I said I don't feel comfortable. That led them to calling my fiancé insecure, and that she could handle not being all coupley with me for one night. After I saw them calling her names, I actually told them the exact reason I'm stepping down. And I'm feeling disrespected since they weren't aware of what was going on all these years, and my fiancé and I didn't want to be petty and expose my friend's wife before. They said that makes me more justified, but I still should not have stepped down because respecting the couple's wishes on their wedding day is more important than my relationship and whether someone will take offense. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to fly with my ex even though we're going to the same wedding and share kids? So my ex's cousin is getting married soon and our families are friends, so I got invited. The wedding is in a different country, and my ex suggested that we, me, him, and our kids, fly together, but I said no. He then told me he would be taking our kids, since it was technically his custody time the day of his flight, so I agreed and said I would see them there then, which he didn't like. He thinks I'm being stubborn and ridiculous by refusing to just all go together, and after realizing none of his attempts to convince me were working, is now angry at me. Every time we interact, he mentions it, and it always turns into an argument. Some of the things he said to try to convince me were that the kids would like it. It would make childcare easier for both of us since flying with small children can be hard. It would be free and easy for me since he would handle everything, etc. My family also think I'm being stubborn and that I should just agree. Am I the a-hole for refusing? Not the a-hole. It would make childcare easier for both of us since flying with small children can be hard. Your ex just doesn't want to deal with the kids on the plane. He asked that the kids fly with him after Opie declined his offer to fly together. So your assumption that he's a crappy father is absurd. It's his time, so I'm not sure that assumption is correct. Not saying he's an awful parent, just that flying with kids is no joke. I think it was a bluff. He was hoping she would protest or give in to flying together. Now he's pissed because things aren't going the way he planned. Not today, home. For the people not paying attention, red flags. That is her ex. He is trying to control Opie and force her to spend time with him. If this was just about the kids, guess what? It's his days and he will have them. There is no reason for Opie to be with him. It's not any different if they had been at home swapping kids like normal. Why is the ex demanding that Opie must be with him? Her kid-free time is her time to do as she pleases. If she wants to be with her boyfriend while she has the kids, then that's her choice. Repeat, it's her ex. He doesn't get the pleasure of her company anymore. And him using the kids as an excuse is just wrong. Exactly. She doesn't have to explain. She said no. What is it with people seeing a no as a let's argue? Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend that I don't like the gift she got me and asking for something else? My girlfriend, 22 female and I, 26 male, have been together for almost 4 years and live together. She has a stable career and has bought herself a car and was taught to drive in high school. I was never taught to drive, and it's not really necessary because I can Uber, take the bus, or my girlfriend can drive. She's offered before to teach me to drive, but I declined because I'm not really interested in learning, because I don't plan on getting a car since they cost a lot of money. So, my birthday was yesterday and my girlfriend was really excited to give me my gift. It was private driving lessons, which admittedly cost her several $100s. I was really offended because I don't want to learn to drive. She hyped the gift up like I'd love it, but I honestly hate it. It seems more like it's for her because she wants me to learn to drive than it is for me. I got really upset and disappointed when I opened it, and she kept pushing to ask why I didn't like it. I told her again that I don't care for driving, and it seemed like a really impersonal gift, because I don't even want my license or a car, so why would I want this? I felt like she doesn't even know me. And she got really upset, so I suggested she return the lessons and get me something I would like better. Now she's calling me Nahal and said the lessons are non-refundable and is really upset with me. I don't think I'm the a-hole because I've told her before that I don't want to drive, and I feel like she's trying to change me. So now she's being immature and won't drive me anywhere and tells me I can Uber if I want to go somewhere, even if it's somewhere she was going to go already. Like she went thrifting and to the grocery store without me. We always go together, and said if I really wanted to go that badly, I can Uber. It's not even like I ask her for rides ever. I just tag along if she's already going somewhere. I get Ubers to and from work and have a good job, so it's pointless for me to even get a car or license. When I told her that, she said that she's tired of always being the driver and likes to be the passenger sometimes. But to me it sounds like she gave me a gift that she wants. Because if she hates being the driver so much, I suggested that I could get lessons for her birthday, not mine, and that upset her even more. She said that it isn't a gift for her, and she'd be upset if I got myself driving lessons for her birthday. I told her basically, see, so you'd be upset if I got you something that you think is for me for your birthday. And she said yes. So even though I explained to her there's a double standard, she's still insisting that I'm the a-hole. Info, how much do you financially compensate your girlfriend for driving you about? I don't, because I don't ask her for rides. I just tag along if she's going somewhere. So you never get a ride anywhere that she isn't already going? What happens if she doesn't want to drive? Or if she wants to have a drink? We don't drink because she doesn't want to pay for an Uber. So we just drink at home if we do. And if she doesn't want to go somewhere, then we just don't go. But she'll usually end up needing to go places eventually, like the grocery store or whatever. You're the a-hole. Read between the lines, dude. She's tired of driving you around everywhere. It's one thing to be unable to drive. It's a whole other thing to just refuse to drive. What's going to happen if there's an emergency? But mommy, I don't want to drive. I can just mooch off other people who acquired their basic freaking skills as teenagers.